All right, how's it going, folks? Just pour a bit of Fernando's medium chili sauce in my chicken. All right, finished poured. Let's get it started. All right, so first I'd like to address another incident has happened this year with the Opal Towers, or last year. Now, I know the audio is not matching the camera, so you can see it's a huge delay. What I'd like to address is ever since, if you look at the old apartments and the old units, they are well designed, built, and they are solid. All right. And there wasn't any fast tracking or things like that. I think under this Australian housing boom, it creates a huge competitive, money grabbing society. And, it goes very deep than just Mascot's Tower. Now, my friend just watched the TV last night, and one of the ABC News stated that the engineer literally whistleblowed the apartment industry, especially in Sydney and Melbourne. 10 out of 10 are pretty much dodgy. Then that is the main reason why I make this video. All right, so you see, coming from a building background, right, as an owner or a builder, you wanted to create more with the fractions. Now, ever since with the challenge where a lot of Chinese investors buying up land and building tremendous amount of apartments, it was a huge trend that everyone went to this business and made a fortune. It was literally a gold mine. Houses are grabbing up for sale, where houses were that usually popular back in the days, buying up in a busy street, out of the sudden turns to apartment zones, and everyone's just grabbing it and making sure two of their neighbors were willing to sell their property. So they combined three lands into one huge, gigantic, multi-complex level apartment. And many of them who understand how to find the loophole, many of them into the site. Now, if you made this far on this video, congratulations. Now, let's talk about the topic. You see, in the building industry, we wanted to maximize everything, right? So for this Mascot Tower or Opal Tower, there's a huge underground car park, right, to facilitate the entire apartment, right? Nothing wrong with it. But, whether you got to blame the engineer or soil testing or architecture or builders, they ought to be blamed, to be honest. Because during 8-9 years ago, or 7 years ago, Master Builder has given this great promotional package to order to get a builder license, which is you have to pay upfront $20,000 and do your Cert 4 and Cert 3, and you just fast track your way up to get a builder license. Now, my dad is one of them, all right? And my dad literally, people were designed to literally lie about their work experience or things like that, or get referrals. And it was a scheme that everyone has schemed of. Now, to get that sort of promotion is pretty difficult, as you need the banking statement evidence that you have worked for that employer for that, and that employer has paid you in the bank account. Back then, it wasn't that strict. Now it's very, very strict. Okay, it was designed. Now, many engineers, proper engineers in architecture, wouldn't touch this sort of projects. There will be the safe. They wanted to build safe. They wanted to build quality structures. Now, if they don't do that, then it pretty much damaged their career, jeopardized their career or their name. Now, as you know, there's many newbie. Every single year we generate many architects and many engineers, and they're willing to fight for that dollar. All right, and people like that are private certified, willing to do the dodgy stuff. And this is where the housing boom, investors and builders knows where to locate them, knows where to find them. Same as locating, how to find a dodgy broker or dodgy dealer. It was designed for the whole thing to be a disaster, whether it's a housing crash or getting people in a large amount of debt, which they shouldn't be on at the first place. That's another topic. But it was everything all the way through. It's all dodgy. All right. So our owner will go up to find an engineer or architecture to maximize as much housing, as much underground car park to facilitate the people. They'll do anything if bribery or any extra cost money, as long as it's approved, that's what we get to. They'll do anything to it. Now builders will hire a builder, and builders, try to, get, they've given a set price on building this project, and that's where the money kicks in. All right. So this is where it kicks in. This is where the problem. Now, whatever the builders, everyone has to make a profit. Nobody wants to make a loss, bankruptcy. In the building industry, it's easy to file bankruptcy or lose in profit. It is very easy. Nobody wants to be a loser. Everyone wants to be a win-win. Right? Now, you have all that gone through. The problem of this whole thing is the fact that everyone's cheap. Regardless if you're a huge developer or you're just a newly developer, everyone's cheap labor. And when I speak to tilers and chip rockers, whether they have to slip a bit of bribe just to get contract jobs and things like that, I hear those stories. All right. And whether to get a job, whether it's a good or whether it's a profitable or whether it's a dodgy material into profit, they'll do anything. So it was, builders, and they do quotations, or they have multiple jobs at the same time. So they might do a quote for this job for 6 months. Later on, they haven't had a call back, but during that time they have many other jobs. So they're building up jobs. They have to line up jobs. If they don't line up jobs, then the workers will walk to another employer, or pretty much. So they have to do that. It is very vital. It's very, very there is an industry. It is money industry. And I've heard stories like, you have to build one level, like you have to finish one level, each level at the same time this week or this month. Like there's a very, very short time schedule as well, very, very tight as well. And you have that building culture, whether people cut corners or not doing like they're supposed to do. Our builders can't tell. You have a builder, you have a project manager, and go walk around doing things. The ones that kind of cop the hardest is the ones that's the finished touched, like the tilers, the paint, because you can see the problem once you paint it. You can see the actual problem when you do the tiles, but you don't see the problem when you do the waterproofing, what's underneath, because you can't tell if it's legitimate or not. Obviously, you've been, these project managers and these builders will provide you material, but somehow they might dilute the material to the stage that it loosen the bondage or whatever it is, or buying a third party, products to substitute it just because of pricing. There's many, many factors go into this sort of industry, but I'm sorry that apartments nowadays, they look beautiful from outside, but inside they look shit like hell. They've done a very crappy job, and they're asking for, I felt sorry for people who actually bought apartments, whether in Parramatta, whether this is in the, high density apartment area, like Waterloo. Waterloo is like right next to Mascot Towers. It's like a suburb away. That was like purely Chinese investor bought the whole entire land and bought it up. And I knew that those houses were all dodgy anyway. I look at it, it's all cracks everywhere I go. Now, what the Opal Tower's been stating, the crack level, that's incredible. Like I haven't seen that, but bang. And said further evidence saying areas haven't put concrete or have been split open. It can be an industry a huge defect. Now, who is this going to be blamed? Good question. Now, if the building has been over 7 years, it's not the builder's fault. So tough luck to those. But you know what? Those who newly buy can pretty much sue the builders and the owners if it's within the 7 years. Pretty much, you can do that. But all I can say, the plump of apartment prices. Not sure where is this going to head to. It's just another stepping stone, getting closer with the Australian housing crash. If this claims to be real, according to the engineer. All right, that's the video, and I hope you guys do understand what I'm saying on this video. Like, comment, share if you have. If you don't like it, yeah, it is what it is in YouTube. Come on.